Welcome to a special video production of the EdTechTeam blog at edtechteam.com. And today I am very lucky to have two special EdTechTeam members with me. They are the Director of Innovation, James Sanders, and the CEO, Dr. Mark Wagner, who are going to talk to us about the Future Ready initiative and give us a background and some updates on it. So, James, can you start?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this. So the Future Ready Schools initiative was developed by the U.S. government in partnership with the Alliance for Excellent Education as a pledge that they asked superintendents around the country to sign, committing to a new set of ideals. And the EdTech team is one of the many partners supporting this initiative. There was more than 1,500, I believe, superintendents around the country that have signed it, representing more than 10 million students. And in addition to the work here in the United States, the EdTech team is excited about, expanding that globally and trying to bring in other schools that, approach this topic and do an amazing job of preparing their students for the future. So.
Okay, and so Mark, do you have any information on what EdTech team is doing to support that?
Yeah, I think a little background on our perspective might be helpful. Is for the last 3 years or so, we've hosted a number of summits featuring Google for Education in some really amazing schools around the world, and the opportunity to see these schools and learn from them and share what we're learning with others has been really impactful for us. And one of the things we realized really early on, being involved with Future Ready Schools, when we asked ourselves what does that mean to us, is that the schools we've been in, that we've seen such a wide variety of amazing schools that we consider future ready over the last several years, are not easily pigeonholed. It's not easy to say, this is what makes a future ready school. And so over time we developed a very broad framework. It's the honeycomb that James has put on his screen here, that we think captures what we're seeing in these schools that we feel are exemplary future-ready schools, right? So without fail, they've all got courageous leadership of some kind. There are some leaders at the highest levels making it possible and empowering people. And that would be the next element, is empowered teachers. These are not just, the teachers aren't just a cogs in the wheel of the machine, as they say, at these schools. And it's a focus on student agency that I think really defines what they're doing. So these kids are making, doing, creating, sharing, publishing, collaborating across borders, and that's really what we're shooting for here with everything we do at EdTechTeam. And another piece that's sort of been new learning for us, or at least for me, is realizing that a lot of these schools don't look like traditional schools, and they have a wide variety of different spaces, but they're all very inspiring spaces, inspiring learning spaces for students and teachers and humans to work and learn. So for us, those are the important parts of this framework, and they're sort of supported by the infrastructure and hardware and software that schools have and can have today. So for us, it's that focus on courageous leadership, empowered teachers, student agency, and inspiring spaces. And so we've built our own Future Ready summits, which James has up there, around those ideals. So we've launched a few. Our first one will be in Illinois, March 7th and 8th, and we've just put together some of the initial workshops for that event, and it looks just fantastic. We're right on target with those 4 elements, and I'm really excited about what we're aiming for here.
So who's the audience for these summits, do you think?
Fire away, James, if you.
Yeah, so for these Future Ready Schools events, we're definitely doing this for schools and teachers and school level leaders. We're really excited about connecting those teachers and those school leaders in those schools with others that are trying to do this work. So as you noticed, we're doing a Future Ready Summit, Future Ready School Summit, not only in Chicago and in Iowa, but also in Brazil, because we believe that by creating a global community of educators that are committed to these ideals, we'll be able to exchange resources, get best practices, identify areas where things haven't gone so well, and trying to lend that support structure. A lot of times teachers that come to our summits feel like they're on islands before they get there. So they can come to these and connect with other educators or like-minded people that are trying to do this work as well, They may not be in the same building, they may not be down the hall, they may be halfway around the world, but they're going to connect with that person and get those resources and support that they need, and hopefully leave inspired. We believe that a lot of this change comes from people. It's not just about technology, it's not just about hardware or software. It comes down to, again, empowered educators, and working in schools where the leaders are giving them the flexibility to take risks, explore new school models, classroom models, arrangements, looking at the curriculum itself, moving away from worksheets and more towards application, students learning by doing. So, a lot of these things that get talked about a lot, but when it comes to the rubber meeting the road, the schools are hesitant because of things like testing and standards and fear of failure. And so hopefully this Future Ready initiative gives them some of the license to be able to take some of those risks and make some of those critical changes, knowing that the world of tomorrow isn't a multiple choice question on a standardized test. It's one that's going to require critical thinking where students are taking risks and failing. So if at all we can bring that into some of our schools, we'll be making a difference. And that's what we're really trying to accomplish here by supporting the Future Ready initiative with these school summits.
And I would say, if I could, Holly, sorry, is when we ask ourselves what's the most important thing we could do to help these schools, it keeps coming down to connecting them with each other. And that's a big part of what these events are around, is raising awareness around not just what's possible, but what's actually out there. We looked into schools like Albany Senior High School in New Zealand that to walk into this what if that we've been preaching for 10 years, and who knew it was happening for real there. And so I think making that concrete. And while there's still going to be some courage involved in the leadership of Future Ready Schools, making it concrete and helping people feel that it's possible and real, I think is a big part of what we're trying to do.
To look through, just for example, some of the sessions that will be happening, like creating a recipe or ripple effect for empowered teaching in a schools, creating creators, not consumers, cultivating a culture of excellence, and curiosity-based learning. Some of these ideas that teachers go into the field because of this. They want to change lives, make a difference, and create the next generation of citizens. And of late, recently, they've gotten bogged down with a lot of this stuff that doesn't align with their personal ideals and what they're trying to accomplish. So hopefully through these summits we can empower our attendees with the courage to take some of those risks and go back to their schools and try some new stuff. So we're really excited about these events, and hopefully some of you guys will be able to join us there.
So just quickly, as an ex-administrator, the first thing I'm thinking is, who would I send to this? Do you think this is something that would be good for a team, individuals, or both?
Yeah, I think a team would be ideal. It's great to see a leader come with the teachers. Obviously, a huge portion of this event will be focused right at teachers with the Empowered Teachers events, and the student agency workshops are going to be largely focused at teachers, how to give their students more agency. And certainly teachers are in a place where they can change the space that's in their classroom at least. But we think having other people there from the technology department, from who's charged with professional development in the school or the district, who's charged with facilities in the school or the district, like these are people who should be at the event as well, because that's all part of the equation.
Fantastic. Okay, and the last question: how do people find out about it? What's your website? And
yeah, so Future Ready Summits or FutureReadySummit.com is where you can find out all this information. And like we said at the beginning, we're just one of 30 awesome partners that are supporting it. So we believe that rather than having these one-off organizations doing their own thing, being part of something bigger and coming together is really important. So all of our events are at FutureReadySummits.com. But at futurereadyschools.org, you'll find all the other partners like the National PTA and EdSurge and Edutopia, all part of this global movement of awesome people trying to make a difference. So if we can do just a small piece of that at EdTechTeam, we're very excited.
Okay, well, thank you both for joining me, and I can't wait to be part of the Future Ready Summit. So thank you.
Thanks, Holly.